Hi, my name is Infinite, and you're listening to Infinite Rocket Power. This podcast will be conducted on a weekly or bi weekly basis regarding topics in my life and different aspects and perspectives about life. Today's topic is purpose or perpetrating. Where does your purpose lie? When we are conceived, it is believed that everyone on this earth has been born with a set of aspirations, purpose, and life goals. More than not, these set of achievements are not attained due to life circumstances, social norms, lack of commitment, and pure laziness. Data has been collected, and in 2022, statistics shows 20% of people actually set goals for themselves, while only 8% of those people actually achieve those goals. Today, we will be discussing ways to find your purpose in life, identifying whether or not you're perpetrating, trying to live someone else's purpose due to trends and popularity, as well as overcome obstacles on the way to finding your purpose. And lastly, I would like to ask for you to ask yourself, are you impeding or imposing on someone else's purpose because you do not understand? But before we get into this topic, if you love Kate Spade, Bessie Johnson, or any other exclusive jewelry, please visit www.prosperityboutique.com and be sure that you like and subscribe. How's everyone doing today?
All right, all
Good.
right.
All right. That's good. I'm welcome to have you. And we're going to go ahead and jump on in and introduce ourselves.
All right. Hello everybody. I'm Dick Tracy. I am the creator of the garden here in this world, Horizon Worlds, and just excited to be here today and looking forward to the conversation.
I'm Fancy J. um, I do a little bit of co-hosting some game nights and things here in Horizon, and I'm excited to be here and talk about the topics.
Oh, okay, it's on me. Okay. Well, my name is Catch These Hands, and I'm a content creator here in Horizon Worlds, and looking forward to see what this conversation leads to.
Hi, I'm Shay Arts. My apologies for the mishap, Infinite Rocket Power. But I'm here in Horizon to promote my business, A Real Touch, which does commission art virtually and physically. And I'm just here to learn and grow.
I'm Matty Cakes, a liaison between people inside the metaverse. I connect different people with where they need to go and who they need to talk to. I'm wide known inside the community, been here for quite some time, and I'm very intrigued about this topic and would like to dive right in.
Hey, good evening, everyone. CamMemo4.VR, world creator. Just here to see where this conversation leads. Very intrigued.
And you're on mute, B.
Hello, everyone. My name is B, and I am the CEO of B Organics. B Organics is a healthy hair and beard product company. We are here in the metaverse. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and also TikTok. We are under BEA underscore organics on Instagram, and we're here at B Organics Beauty Supply Store in the metaverse. And you can find me on my products on my website at www.borganics.info.
All right. And I am so blessed to
I
have you
used
all here
it
today.
Check me out. Then but B is organics.
Glistening.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Okay. As we go ahead and jump right on in, and Dollar Beast, you can go ahead and come on in if you would like.
Ain't no room. Where you gonna sit? Where you gonna slide?
Y'all slide in here.
Give him a
That's okay.
booster seat, Shay.
You know what I'll do? I'll do like this.
You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Dollar Beezy?
Oh yes, I'm Darby's creator, scripter inside of Horizon Worlds.
All right. This is going to be a yes or no question, and I only need a yes or a no, starting with you, Dick Tracy. Are you currently on your life path?
Yes.
Fancy?
You're on mute.
You on mute?
Yes.
Catch?
Yes.
Dollar?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Shay?
Yes, I am.
Madden?
No.
Okay. Cam?
Yes.
B?
Yes.
And myself, the answer is yes. All right. Starting with you, Dick. Do you believe that everyone has a specific life purpose, or do you think that it's something that we create ourselves?
That's a good question. Because if you have a life purpose, then that means you have no control over your life, right? Um, I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer that question. I think everybody has control over their lives, the trajectory of their life. I don't think that everybody is meant to do or be on the path that they're on, as unpopular as that might be. Everybody wants to move a certain way, but sometimes you're just not meant to move that way. It's not for you, and that's not a bad thing. It just means that you got to figure out where you fit in, what works best for you. So I think to answer your question, everybody has some control over their life. Some, not all, but some. Yeah.
Okay. Dollar Beezy, you said no. I want to ask you that same question.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. Do you believe that everyone has a specific life purpose, or is it something that we create ourselves?
Oh, well, I think it's a blend of the two. Like you have certain skills and things that you're, you know, just naturally good at, and those can kind of help guide your path. But the higher power, or however you want to look at it, interjects things to kind of move you the way you need to go. Like you start out with a plan, they got a plan, it comes together as one,
Okay.
and that's where you be.
Shay, I would like to ask you this question. What are some factors that have influenced your understanding of your life purpose?
What are some factors that has influenced? I would say definitely in the way that I was raised and the way that I grew up. It helped. It helped me specifically find my passion, and that passion of mine drives my purpose. Of course, there could be other external factors, but for me specifically, that's one of the main things I look at. Is how you were raised and how you adapt to that.
Okay. Ketch, you said that you were on your purpose. Was there ever a moment in your life where you felt like you were out of sync with that purpose? And what did it feel like?
You talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Give me the question one more time.
Was there ever a moment in time where you were out of sync with your purpose? And what did that feel like?
Yes, there were a lot of years I was out of sync, and throughout that time, I felt extremely lost. I felt like I was just going with the motions, just waking up every day doing what I know I had to do just to make it to tomorrow. It sucked.
Okay. Maddie, I would like to ask you, since you said that you weren't on your purpose, how do you feel?
Typically with my hands. But so I feel as though there are still a lot of things that I need to learn. There are aspects that I have mastered, yet they're not all encompassing to the things that would put me on the path that I would need to be on, not want but need to, because there's a very big difference between the two. How do I feel? I don't feel lost. What it is that I feel is a sense of strive in order to realign myself with the way.
Bia, you said that you were on your purpose. So let me ask you, how do you balance pursuing your life purpose while balancing the other obligations and responsibilities that you have in your life?
Well, my purpose is to serve. So I serve with love. I serve, you know, my time. So balancing my life, you have to take time for you, because sometimes serving other people can be draining.
Mm.
So some those when you've had enough, and you know when you've had enough of serving others, you have to take that time for you and re-energize yourself, because not everybody's gonna always re-energize you. So you have to sometimes do this for yourself.
Okay. Fancy, I would like to ask you this next question. Do you think our life purpose changes over time, or is it something that remains constant?
I believe that it can change over time, just as a person evolves in how they conduct themselves and what they are doing. It definitely could evolve into something a little bit more and bigger, taking your life purpose and turning it into something a little bit more. So I think it just naturally evolves a little bit bigger.
Okay. You said the word naturally. So let me ask you another question. Do you feel like it's inherited, or is it something that is in us and is just gonna come on out and we all just have an independent mission regardless of what's in our bloodline?
Well, kind of like with your first question about um, the two different parts of it. Really, I think it's kind of the same as both. I think it's something that we do have a purpose in our life and we do find it, but I think we have, different obstacles and different things that we need to figure out how to find our purpose and get to it. So I think it's something that you eventually get to, but it is something that is uh, a big purpose for your life that you already have or inherited, I guess. That you just have to go through the motions and different directions to get to know what it is and use it.
Okay. Cam Bam,
Yes, ma'am.
what advice would you give someone struggling to find their purpose from your perspective?
What advice would I give someone who's looking for purpose?
Or struggling to find their life purpose?
Um, well, I would start by saying they need to look inward, right? Look within their soul and see. Excuse me, 1 minute. I dropped my control and I'm. Don't start the timer yet. Sorry. I don't know where it rolled to, but all right, here we go. All right, so sorry about that. All right, so I would start by saying they need to look inward. Why? Because you have to know how much your heart and soul can take. Right? Because if you now do for others, right, without looking inside yourself and finding out what it is that you want to do for your own self-preservation and your peace of mind, at the end of the day, you're going to spend your time chasing somebody else's dream. So I would definitely say look inside, ask the question. And it doesn't have to be anything big, Like you can wake up one day and say, hey, look, I'm going to make one person smile today by stopping and saying a prayer with them, or stopping and saying, hey, man, just saying hello, So it's just like those little things, So within, using myself as an example, I try to, be kind to other people when I meet them. The only problem with that is the energy is not reciprocated. So you just have to be careful with whom you give your energy to. So that's why I say you have to start from inside you, and then you kind of decide from there how much of you you're willing to put out to the universe. You know, and that in turn will sustain what purpose it is that you're trying to find. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay. Dick Tracy, let me ask you this. Have you ever had to make a difficult decision that went against your perceived life purpose? And how did you handle that situation? I know you're on mute.
Um, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking, trying to process the question. A difficult decision. So no, well, I think a difficult decision for me would have been um, not realizing not or realizing what my life purpose was, coming to that realization of what my life purpose was, but giving in to self doubt, giving into my inner demons. The voice, that alternate you that tells you that you're not able to do this, you're not capable. What are you thinking? You can't do that. And so the decision to listen to that, to listen to myself, ultimately, um, kind of kept me from being where I needed to be or doing what I needed to do. So, as you know, just to piggyback off what Cam Bam said, looking inside yourself, sometimes you might not like what you see, and it's a version of you. You're speaking to a version of yourself, and it might not be the version of yourself that's telling you or trying to motivate you to find your purpose. So,
Yo.
you just got to learn to ignore that. That would be a decision that I made is giving in to that negativity within myself.
Okay. Bia, let me ask you this. Has shortcuts ever played a role in you finding your life purpose?
Hmm. What, what kind of shortcuts? I just feel like we all have a purpose in this life, and it's not so much of what you do. It's not, not what you do, is how you do it. We all can do a lot of things, but if there's no purpose in what we're doing, you're not in your purpose.
So you're
If it's just to,
saying
if it's just to gain money, it's not a purpose.
so you're saying
It's
you need to be genuine in your
yeah.
actions.
The stamp you leave on this world matters. It matters, and I don't want to be known for having the flyest gear or the flyest car or the biggest house. I want to be known for what I put in this earth, what I've done here. How many lives have I changed? How many people, I could have saved somebody's life yesterday. Talk, just standing there saying hello. They was about to kill themselves, and they decided to change, not to do that, and become a better person or do things different because I spoke to them today. And that's where I see purpose at. Not so much of what I do, but how I treat people. That's my purpose.
Okay. Dollar Beezy, let me ask you, do you believe that finding your purpose is essential to living a fulfilling life?
I actually I'd say no. I believe in ignorance is bliss. You can live outside your purpose and you just won't reach the same potential or the same heights. But I think you can live relatively happy.
Okay. Shay, let me ask you the same question.
Repeat the question.
Do you believe that fulfilling and pursuing our life purpose is essential to having a fulfilled life?
I personally would say it is, um, because when you're feeling fulfilled, you have that joy and you have that passion, you
Mm-hmm.
have that peace, and you have that peace in everything. And for me, that came from finding my purpose. My
Mm-hmm.
purpose is art, to create and spread art in any way, not just not just physical. So anything that I do with an artistic mindset. And even in the most menial tasks of washing dishes and folding up laundry, I can find peace and joy in doing even the menial things because I I do it with purpose, and I do it artistically. And just for me myself, that has been fulfilling in any job that I've had, because that's my true purpose, is to create, spread, and manifest art.
All right. Transitioning into the second part of this discussion, speaking on trends. Maddie, let me ask you, how do you current how do current trends in your industry impact the goals that you have set for your career?
In my industry?
Yep.
What industry?
Uh, what line of work do you are you in, or
Global
what?
expediting. So how many trends? Oh, Lord. So, boy, that's a loaded one. I wasn't ready for something like that, but I can touch on it. Absolutely. So global trends. Let's talk about the conflict that's in the that's across the ocean right now. So conflicts that are taking place across the ocean right now, since I work for global expediting, affects the global economy and the way that things move. So let's say like the big shipping containers from Maersk. Maersk said that their barometer, what you need to focus on. If Maersk is saying that we're going to have a dip in the economy, guess what? You better stock up on beans and rice and stuff like that, because trust me, we're about to. And with everything that's going on overseas and the way that the shipping lanes are handled and the way places, you look at anything made in China, made in this place. And I'm not faulting anyone's culture. I'm not faulting where anyone comes from. I don't know them from an oil stain. You know what I mean? I don't know how they live. But what happens is certain trends within the world can influence significantly what happens in other parts of the world. It's pretty much that a butterfly can flap its wings just hard enough to change the wind to cause a hurricane on the North Carolina coast. It's a whole butterfly effect of things that happen. You know, very small into something big over a duration of time. So the trends, how do they affect my industry? With severe impact, I'll say.
Mm, mm.
Hmm.
Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate that.
Welcome.
Shay, what are some popular trends that have affected your approach to your personal goals as of right now?
Um, there have been several. The first one was, of course, when I got the VR, I didn't knew nothing about VR. I wasn't really into tech that heavy besides gaming. But since I've been in VR and saw how it can control, how it can transform my art, I became more aware of the technology trends, because that's going to affect the business that I'm trying to move in. So most recently, the AI art trend boom and the Chat GPA trend boom. Those trends affect me as a business, because as a physical artist, I can look at AI art and be like, this boom, this trendy thing now can put me out of business,
Mm-hmm.
or I
Mm-hmm.
can incorporate it into my business and make my services
Yep.
more. And so it's definitely a matter of perspective of looking at a certain trend and see how can you encompass it, because you can't be stagnant with my business, my particular business. You also always have to be willing to be flexible and to grow. And with this new technology boom of what we're able to accomplish in VR and just in digital, with digital art, it has definitely transformed my business to a point now where I am now at this point on this day. I wasn't even thinking about this last year. I wasn't nowhere near this trajectory until I got into VR. I noticed, I started paying attention to the trends, and I caught on to them. And so you can either let it fold or you can let it grow. You can either let it fold you or let it grow you. And I choose to encompass it into my business to grow.
Thank you. Thank you. Fancy, how do you balance the desires to follow a trend with the need to stay true to your personal goals?
Um, I really think trends are definitely definitely there. Um, and they're always very tempting sometimes, depending on what you want to do, and tempting to do just because sometimes they might feel or seem easier as well with the trends. Um, but I think you really just have to keep looking inward and trying to keep on track with your actual purpose and what you're doing and trying to evolve that, instead of trying to go with trends, because those are kind of a short lived. That's why it's called a trend. It's a short lived thing that, you know, is not going to be there for very long. So your purpose is something that is going to be there. And if you keep working on that and evolving it, then you'll be in a better position.
Okay. B, would you say trends are based off capitalism? Because it sounds like trends are more devastating to people than it is a good thing.
Well, it depends on what the trend is. There have been some bad trends that have caused people to lose their life, and there's been some good trends that brought about some information or acknowledgement on certain things. So it depends on the trends you're talking about. Because them bad trends was killing kids, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Hmm.
Let's see
Mhm.
here. Give me 1 second. Cam Bam.
You.
Have you ever been surprised by a trend that emerged in your industry or your personal life? And how did it impact you?
Um, it's kind of weird. I wouldn't. I don't know if it was a surprise or it seemed very. I usually call these things not real. Like I always say, I always refer to them as not real, right? In my industry, right? So, for those who don't know, I am in the military, Marine specifically. So we have a very strict uniform, you know, process. Like you're supposed to look a certain way, carry yourself a certain way. So early on in my military career, I decided, even though yes, I can grow hair, right? I shave it off because it's economical and for one, I think it looks better, right? But the orders that were written sometimes were really directed towards like African Americans, where it kind of like set us back a lot. Like we couldn't get lineups and stuff like that. This is like old stuff. So what we saw emerging was, now you had these young Marines and they were getting these flat top like kid and play haircuts, and they were growing their hair out, and they was just doing some crazy stuff with their hair. And I'm a stickler for like the orders and directives. So I'll always like, kind of like explain to them like, look, you guys are kind of walking a very thin line with this hair thing, but I also understand. So it didn't come out as a surprise that I saw some older haircuts coming back, for example, or I saw that Marines were kind of pushing the line as far as their appearances. Um, it was just more like, oh, here we go again. So it was like this weird like circle that was happening. I don't know if that was a right example to use, but that was the best visualization that I could explain in my industry.
Okay. I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that. I appreciate that. Starting with you, Dick Tracy, we're going to be transitioning into obstacles. What is one of the biggest obstacles that has prevented you from achieving your goals?
Myself, again, nobody. I This is just my belief. Some people might live a different lifestyle where you actually have somebody or some force, whatever you want to call it, that prevents you from being able to get to where you want to be. But for me, it has been me. It's been self doubt, um, and just not. I mean, self doubt. That's what it is. It's been me not following through, or me not. Yeah, that's simplified enough. Just me, myself, not being able to follow through. Depression, If any, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I suffer from severe depression, and I get into when I get down, I'm low. I'm really low. And it takes, I can be out of it in a week. I can be out of it in 9 months. I can be out of it in 2 years. It's really bad.
Mm.
But now I'm in a place where I'm good now. I got, my mental exercises going on, and finally found my purpose sitting on all of these ideas, wonderful ideas and talent for so long and just not doing anything with it. And now I'm at a place where it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe like everything is just coming to me now. It's coming to me. It's like, okay, this makes sense. So uh, definitely self-doubt. Self-doubt has been me. It's all me.
Okay. Maddie, I want to ask you the same question.
Myself, easily. I was clouded by hatred and anger for nearly 2 decades, and it almost destroyed me. And you hear a lot of people use the word, "Oh, I hate this and I hate that," and I chuckle to myself, but I feel sorrow for them because they don't understand what true hatred is. Hatred is the willingness to destroy yourself to burn the thing that you hate. And I don't think people understand that. And it took nearly 20 years for me to pull back out of that. The best representation of that, if we know Vash Spike. Oh, by the way, I want to say something before I gave an answer. This world is beautiful. You made this? Yeah, the MC Escher esque is beautiful. So Vash Spike created that KD art collection, right? And when you go downstairs, he's got that silhouette of the man in front of the beast that's chained up. People don't understand that we are just normal people, but the amount of emotion that we put into things can be absolutely colossal and devastating at once. It's a tumultuous storm that's always within us. So myself, absolutely, the hatred and the anger gives you a vision as if you are righteous in what it is that you're doing, but you don't realize how fogged and clouded that you are. So you got to pull yourself away from that. So myself.
Talk to him, Maddie.
I appreciate that, Maddie. Dollar Beezy, how do you
All right.
typically
Thought that was on
respond
me.
when you encounter an obstacle that is threatening your or derailing your plans?
Um, for the most part, I don't feel like I have those, just because I'm always willing to change. Like if something comes my way, I feel like maybe it's there for a purpose. Maybe it's something I need to learn from. Maybe it's a lot of times in life you think you're ready before you actually are.
Mm.
So I'm just I'm never committed to my plan. I'm always I like to say I'm always ready to audible, where whatever it is, it's supposed to be there. Like the people you meet, I think you're supposed to meet them. The problems you come is something you're supposed to learn from that. Like, and if you don't, then it'll hinder you on the back end, because it's everything's meant for you to happen. Like, I think we're not in control as much as we want to believe we are. As humans, we want to control everything. We're
We are not in control at all.
like we're not in control. Like my stepmother used to tell me, when your car's going out of control, let it, and when you can control it, pull it back. And I
Mm.
thought that was the craziest thing until I lost control on some wet leaves, and I started trying to turn the wheel, and I heard that in my head, and I let the wheel go, and the car caught back traction, and then I was able to go. Like if I wouldn't, I would have hit a tree. Like so, that's really what I truly believe that. So, and if it comes my way, I'm ready for it, and I'm willing to audible. Like I'm willing to move the way the problem is.
Hmm.
All right. And can you mute your background for us, please? All right. Catch. What role does fear play in preventing people from reaching their goals, and how can they overcome it from your perspective?
I wish I got that one.
You on mute.
Question again. I had to plug my headset up.
Okay. What role does fear play in preventing people from reaching their goals, and how can they overcome it from your perspective?
Ooh, well, fear can it can be crippling. It can stop you from doing things you know you got to do to reach your goals to begin with. And man, it's so deep.
Mm-hmm.
Please pass that question around.
Yeah,
Okay.
pass that around and
Okay.
come back.
Okay.
There's been a couple of times I heard these questions. I'm like, dang, I wish I was sitting over there, yo.
Yo, I'm still thinking.
Well, Maddie, if you can you respond to that question?
Sure, easily. So my children used to be scared to go upstairs when the lights was out. You know what I mean? I made the mistake of showing them Michael Myers and Pennywise the clown when they was younger and stuff. Because
Man, say
as I
mistake.
got older, I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? But then, because I overcame that fear. Fear is the anticipation of the worst case scenario. It is not real. Although it is a raw human emotion, it is not real. Danger, in fact, is real. And Will Smith said that best in After Earth, I think the movie was. So my children used to be scared to go upstairs because the lights were out. They would hear the creaking of the wood as the wood settled, and this, oh, the monster, blah, blah, blah. So one day I got tired of that. So I tried to send them upstairs to do something. They were crying, kicking. And I said, man, I'm done with this. So I said, you want to see the monster? I'm going to show you the monster. Right? Let's go look at the monster. Can you hear that dog barking outside?
No.
All right, good. Doggone mutt. So I took him in front of the mirror, pointed. They said, we don't understand. I said, you are the monster. The monster lies within your heart. You create the monster. And if you believe in something so strongly, you give life to it. You are the monster in and of itself. Okay? You have the ability to take the power of the monster away because you birthed it in your mind. And how does fear hurt people? It gives them the projection of a worst case scenario. Oh, if I take this risk or this leap of faith, I may stumble. I may do this. I may fall flat on my face. And a lot of times people don't want to fail, so they let that fear control their movements.
Okay. Do you think that's the ego taking the bigger part of them?
Easily. Yeah. Ego is the comfortability of oneself to say, hey, you're perfectly fine where you're at now. Yeah, you're good, man. Every time you do something, people clap it up with you. Don't take the risk and do something and tarnish your reputation. Ego will hold you back 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Maddie.
You're welcome.
Shay,
I want to tag in on that one too.
Oh, okay.
But real quick, about the question you asked about fear holding you back. That was something that I struggled with a lot growing up. There was an incident that happened during my high school years where after that incident, I wasn't really comfortable putting my art out, to the public on social media and stuff like that. And because I didn't want the visibility. Someone told me recently, one of my mentors, she looked at me and was like, Shay, have you ever heard of imposter syndrome? And I was like, I've kind of heard of it. I told her what I thought it was, and she was like, no, you got it all wrong. Like, that's what I feel like you have. And I feel like once you overcome that, you're really going to be able to receive all the blessings. You're going to be able to see and receive all the blessings that's around you. Because if you feel like you don't deserve something, you won't see what other people see. And
Right.
that's what she said, that was something that I had to look into myself and get over and actively work on, because she was like, you deserve everything that you've had so much success that you don't talk about, and you should talk about that. You don't talk about it because you feel like I didn't get these degrees, these certifications to get the skills that I have. And she was like, that's something that holds you back. That's something that you're doing to yourself that's holding you back. And I feel like once you recognize that and overcome that, you're gonna boom. Like everyone's really gonna, not everyone. You're gonna see what everyone else sees. And I didn't think about it until she, we were just having a random conversation, and she was like, I think that's what's wrong with you. And once you get over that, you'll really be able to flourish and live in your purpose and live in your truth in its entirety.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Shay. B, let me ask you this question. Have you ever faced an obstacle that turned out to be a blessing in disguise? And how did it change your perception of goal setting?
Trying to think of something that was a hint, that was a stumbling block. In my business, It's starting a business. Yeah, starting a business. Sometimes it was hard starting a business out from my pocket, and my purpose is to serve, even with my products. Help people to see the beauty in themselves. It's not just your hair, but within yourself. So starting my business was one of the blocks.
Okay. Fancy, I would like to ask you that same question.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Have you ever faced an obstacle that turned out to be a blessing in disguise? And how did that change your perception of goal setting?
Hmm. Um. I mean, I definitely have had a lot of different setbacks and stuff. Um. I would say with school, I had a class that I was doing that I had to do repeat a couple times just to get the grade that I was in, but to the grade that I wanted actually. And there's a lot of obstacles in that I set back, and I think a lot of them had to do with my own self, with trying to do the work and put it in to get the grade that I wanted. And it was kind of an obstacle as far as me having to take the course more than once to get the grade that I wanted. And it was something that kind of changed my perspective as far as with it is when I actually put in more of the work and studied more. It made me more confident in what I was doing and how I was doing it. So it was able to get, the grade that I wanted and to make sure I could get past that to go into the field that I wanted to get into. But it's very humbling when you have yourself as one of the obstacles as well, because um, it's it makes you grow. It kind of tests your boundaries a little bit, and when you test your boundaries a little bit, it can either break you or make you. So it's one of those things that is nice when you actually are able to do it and get it done, that pushes your boundaries in a good direction. And I think that's with everybody and a lot of things that everybody does when they are trying to complete a task or trying to get further ahead of where they want to be. You kind of got to look at yourself and what you can do and, you know, push yourself a little bit more, to get to those successes.
Okay. Dollar Beezy?
Yeah, I just wanted to share a quick story because a lot of what I do is based off of this one moment where I was doing phenomenal selling on eBay. I mean, like so much they were stopping my accounts thinking it had to be fraudulent money. Like I was just making so much money, and it was coming so fast. And I was like, yeah, well, I just need to get this warehouse now. And I walked through the warehouse with the people, and they told me what I needed, the requirements and all that. And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be my office, and I'm gonna put my people over here, my inventory in this room, and the trucks can come up here. And I just swore it was gonna be the win. And somebody somehow like got the building, got the space from me. Like I don't know if they knew somebody or what, but they made it like it was mine. I didn't get it, and I was hurt. I'm gonna be honest. I wanted to cry. Like I was like, man, look, that was my win. Like I was gonna get it, and right after that, you know, I got I got this response back from another person, and they showed me the place. And I mean, it was like one room, small, with a little office. I mean, with a little bathroom. And I'm like, man, I'm not gonna get this. And then I needed a space, so I got it. Long, not too long after, eBay changed their whole policy. The amount of money they were taking, I wasn't going to be profitable at that point. I had a ton of inventory, and I would have never sold it or even made the money to support that place that I wanted. But being that I had that little spot, I still made lots of money and was able to pay everybody, and everything went great. But if it would have went the way I wanted it to go, I'd have been in a world of trouble because COVID had hit, and like everything just piled on one after another. So it just you just can't worry about what you want all the time. Like that's just the story I want everybody to see, because what I wanted would have took me under.
Mm.
Yeah. I just wanted to add on to mine that, it's really great because, you realize when you do accomplish those hard successes that you can actually do hard things, and it kind of boosts your confidence in
Mm.
what you're doing and how you're doing it. So, um, we can all do hard things and, make it into a better situation.
As they say, you never know how strong you are until you have to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Maddie, have you ever had to adjust to goals? Have you ever had to adjust your goals due to unforeseen obstacles? And how did you stay motivated and focused on what matters most?
Absolutely, change is the only constant. Um, Change is absolutely the only constant, and forbearance is a very notable thing when you're focusing. So I was on a spiritual journey from the age of 19 to 29, and I focused on lots of different religions, though I am not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. Taoism taught me that, and my God, man, I love Taoism so much. Taoism taught me that forbearance is key. A tree can be deeply rooted inside the ground and whatnot, and through seen and unforeseen circumstances, will be stripped of everything that it holds dear. But as we talked about trends, the etymology of the word trend would be from Old English, trendin, or Old Germanic, to revolve, to come back again. So even though you may be stripped of everything, if you have the forbearance and you're deep rooted, then you are going to blossom again. Um, so much if you water yourself. A lot of people say that the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener
Mm-hmm.
wherever the heck it is you water it. And
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
change is the only constant. And they have a lot of notable people that are here inside the metaverse that have profound worlds, phenomenal builders, great scripters, and artists. It's a wonderful thing. I do not have those things. I am my brand. I show up. I have prominent energy. I make sure that I treat everyone with respect as much as possible, and I try to make sure that I not only keep a constant of myself, but I adapt to what's around me in order to fulfill others, so I may feel fulfilled. Excuse me, I've stumbled there. But yeah, I have had to.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cam Bam, how do you balance the need for flexibility to face obstacles with the importance of staying committed to your long term goals?
Lee, there's a lot to unpack there. I don't. All right. Okay. All right. Let's start with a question again, so I can fully process exactly what you're asking.
How do you balance the need for flexibility in the face of obstacles with the importance of staying committed to your long term goals?
All right. So again, we'll jump right into a work discussion. So I have two back-to-back inspections coming up, right? One this week and one next week. These are very critical in my job field because it kind of analyzes, the pay discrepancies and, you know, systems and procedures within my office, right? And I was like, well, I'm going to take my laptop home and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to, just to kind of give me some flexibility come tomorrow, right? That thing is
Mm-hmm.
still sitting in my bag right now. You know why? Because for one, it's the weekend. Granted, I get paid when I'm not at work. However, I still need that peace of mind to know that I can come, recharge, do what it is that I want to do, and I will let that thing wait until Monday. You know what? But with that being said, because of the type of person I am a workaholic. I work round the clock constantly. Is not going to negate the fact that I'm probably going to show up to work tomorrow, maybe an hour ahead of everybody getting in and kind of start moving some files around. You get what I'm saying? So the balance is really for my peace of mind, because at the end of the day, I want to look at it as I'm still buying my time back. I work constantly. I've been doing the job that I've been doing for 18 plus years at this point. Um, And there's a saying, as it goes, sometimes you got to game the game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like I said, I took the laptop home and it's set in my bag, and I was like, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. Then I was like, you know what? Everybody else has time off. I'm taking my time off too. Screw that. So, but hey, real quick, real disclaimer. We talk about purpose. So one of my purposes in life is being a husband, and I'm pretty sure like within the next 5-10 minutes, my wife is gonna pull up with a car full of groceries. So if I turn into a coin, all right, if I turn into a coin, that's me doing my husbandly duties. So not to say I'm away, but
Well,
gotta make sure I don't get
thank you
yelled
for
at
promoting
later.
that, Cam. We need more men that's helping their wives get their groceries. So thank you for that. That's real time, everyone. Real time. Dollar Beezy and Matt, I want to ask you all this. With you not knowing quite what your purpose is at the moment, do you find yourself impeding or imposing on anyone else's purpose because you don't understand?
Um. Oh, I'm sorry. Me first.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, I don't. I think that's the time when I don't know my purpose. That's the time to reach out, help others with theirs. If I see what you're doing, it's real easy to get behind that and be helpful. And a lot of times, I think that helps you find your own. Like me saying I don't know or I'm not on my purpose is because I have a lot of questions.
Cam, can you mute your background for me? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Continue,
A lot of those answers seem to be found when I'm helping others.
Maddie?
Of course.
I have to be in accordance with that. It's not that I don't know my purpose. I know what my purpose is. I don't let fear control me. Yet I'm scared out of my mind to line the shot up and take it, because I know it's going to bring that crashing wave down. And am I ready to tread in them waters yet? Both yes and no. Do I? Oh my Lord, have mercy! My controller just dropped. Forget about it. So, do I impose on others? Yeah, I definitely try to give them a different perspective. Just like the cameraman went from one side of the room to the other. I'd like for everyone to see differently than how they originally did. Do I impede on others? That's not up to me. That's up to, so let's say Infinite Rocket Power. Do you know who you are?
I do.
You do, because only you can exist in your own mind. However, everyone on this panel interprets you in a different way because the power of existence lies within interpretation. So, do I impede other people? That is never my intention. That is up to how they receive me and the reflection of their own heart. So, I have no control over that.
Okay. Starting with you, Dick Tracy, has anyone ever impeded on you in your purpose?
No, except for me. I feel like all my answers to your questions have been about me. I don't know. That's either vanity or self awareness, but
I think it's very self awareness.
no, I've had people come to me and say that it just depends on how you choose to, like Maddie just said, how you choose to interpret. You can choose to interpret what people say to you. Sometimes people's approach might not be tactful. Maybe it's not the way you wanted to hear, or maybe it's not what you wanted them to say. But and that I'm saying this because I've had people, family members, friends come to me and tell me, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should try something else. Especially like parents. I'm 34 years old and I still got my parents coming at me and telling me, I don't know if I can see you doing that and doing that. It's like, yeah, well, you can't see yourself doing that. You can't see you doing that, right? And
Right.
and respectfully, because you can't do something doesn't mean that I can't do it.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Think
no,
that's
nobody,
men or something.
nobody's ever impeded on me except for me. And yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Kitch, I know that you have children. Do you impede or impose on your children if they don't know their purpose?
Um, Not really. Like right now, since they're so young, I try to make sure they experience as many different things as possible, so they can pick and choose what they want to do, and then their purpose will kind of evolve from that.
Okay.
Can I jump on that question?
Yes.
So, I'm pretty sure there are others in the room that have kids that are high school age or already long gone out of high school. But, I'm at that stage now where it's kind of like I know what's next, like I said, what I've done before working with, you know, kids that wanted to look at the military as a viable career choice, right? Some of them don't know what they want, so I go in and I kind of, show them what we have to offer as well. And some of them join, some of them don't, you know what I mean? But I think one of the things that really kind of helped me was the fact that I was pretty transparent to let them know what the type of lifestyle that we're going to get into. But now I got my daughter, who's, she's getting ready to become a senior. She has some grand ideas and I'm all for it, but the thing that I always try to remind her, I'm like, listen, life is coming and it's coming very quickly. So you need to figure something out. And, at some point, if you don't know what it is that you want to do now, you behind the park curve because we've been prepping and preparing you for the past 17, 18 years. And now, according to America, you're considered an adult that could vote and go out into the world and work and pay taxes. And if
Pay your own rent.
you know, I even asked, I even asked her the other day. I said, "Hey, do you plan on?" Because I got to make sure that she's good. So college is good for her, but I said, "Hey, do you want to, stay at the house or do you want to go, board at the college?" I'm like, "Man, you need to get the hell gone." I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, like, come on now. And then she was like, "Yeah, think about, maybe you know, going to stay on campus." And then all of a sudden, right, she comes back and she's like, "No, I think I want to stay at home." And I'm like, man. So I kind of knew it was, I already knew where that conversation came from. So it was more like, all right, so now I'm processing my mind like we got to figure some stuff out as we continue to have these conversations. But yeah, I don't want to impose on her because I've already seen what it could do when parents like drill down on their kids. A lot of these kids go to colleges and they go to these universities and they're burnt out. They don't want to go to school. They just want to get the hell away from their parents as quickly as possible. And a lot of them turn to the military. A lot of them make really, they have successful careers. Some of them not so much, but we do kind of give them that avenue. I know I went over my time, so yeah, I just want to interject there.
I don't mean to step on whoever it is you about to ask a question. Can I just add something quick to that real quick? So I have a younger brother. He was doing really bad, really bad. He didn't see the purpose in school. He couldn't see the purpose in some of the classes that he was taking. Rightfully so. We all ask ourselves like, when am I ever going to use this? I took 2 years of high school Spanish, saying to myself, when am I ever going to use Spanish? And now I live in Miami, right? So you never know when you're going when you're gonna need something. But anyway, he was doing bad. He wasn't going to school, and so my mom found a program for him um, that takes in troubled youth, and it's down at a Camp Shelby. Camp Shelby's in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and they take in troubled youth and they give them a structured, militarized um, foundation, I guess. So they helped him out, and since he's been in it for a
And
couple
who
months
does that?
now. Camp Shelby.
Camp Shelby.
Yeah, Camp Shelby.
Camp Shelby.
Taking notes.
Hey, yo, I don't
But
mean to cut you off, but like, me and my fiance were talking about it last night. Like, literally trying to figure out where to send them.
okay, Camp
It's
Shelby,
crazy.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Camp Shelby. I think
I
it's
mean,
even free too.
yeah, I'm close too.
Okay, but
And
say,
where is it at?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
military Army military base at Camp Shelby. So they get cadre. The cadre are a mix of military and civilian, but they have some military experience. But since he's been in there, long story short, since he's been in there, he's found his purpose. He's found meaning. He loves that militarized, like, getting up
Structure.
early. Yeah, structured. Getting up early. Having somebody tell you what to, and a lot of that comes from we can really unfold that to not having a man in your life, but that's another topic. So, um, but since he's just wanted to say that since he started that, he's found his purpose and he's looking at avenues and um or not avenues. He's looking to join the military. He's trying to figure out, if it's reserve or guard, army, marines, and I'm prior army myself, and um it's done wonders for him. So I thought that I just wanted to share that because purpose just popped up, and I was like, yeah, I know somebody who found, like, literally just found their purpose, and it was great.
Okay.
So
Oh, good. Thanks for your service.
thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Starting with B, you have any final words for people struggling to find their purpose? People that's perpetrating on other people's purpose. People that want to follow trends and want to be seen. What advice do you have for them, B?
When finding your purpose, look deep within yourself. Whatever it is that you find joy in doing, and you don't mind not getting paid for it, that's your purpose.
Thank you for that. Cam Bam.
Well, I will leave you with this quote, all right? Activity without purpose is a drain of your life. All right? Activity without purpose is a drain of your life because you could be doing a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of nothing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave you with that.
Thank you. Maddie Cakes?
Stop trying. And before you guys are, ask yourself, why would you say that? Stop trying, because trying is an illusion. You're not doing something until you do it. Nobody goes to the Olympics and tries to win the silver. You either win the gold or you don't.
That's deep.
Well,
Shay
damn.
Art? You on mute, Shay. I can't hear you if you're talking.
Do with your life, but how you.
Oh,
Oh, there
You
you
can
go.
hear
You was
me?
lagging.
now I can hear you
Yeah, I
now.
can hear you.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would say your purpose, you can find your purpose and not by what you do with your life, but how you live your life. And Bishop T.D. Jakes, even though I'm not religious, I am a spiritual person. I always take the best and what applies to me from each religion. And Bishop T.D. Jakes said, if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion, for your passion will lead you right into your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Wow.
Dollar Be Easy.
Yeah. I would just say listen, listen to your heart, listen to your mind, listen to your gut. It'll never lead you wrong. And if it don't feel right, it just ain't right. The minute it feels right, you'll know.
Catch.
Hey, give me the question I was fixing my butt when you gave it.
What final words do you have for someone struggling to find their purpose that's perpetrating out here that wants to be seen?
Well, I would have to say my advice to anybody that's still looking for their purpose: get with the people that's closest to you and ask for help if you can't find a way yourself.
Okay. Fancy.
I would say is if you're not haven't found your purpose, I mean, I would say looking kind of inward and also outwards. Experience as much as you can while you can, and take off those life experiences and see if there's something in there that can help with your purpose yourself. Because there's a lot of people that you could be doing serving other people or whatnot, and actually find your purpose in doing so, just from all the different experiences that you have. And just a little quote: everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. So look at yourself and understand that, there's so much more things in life that you can be doing and finding purpose in.
Thank you. And Nick.
Just two things. I said this last time, I'm gonna say it again. Redirect adversities. A lot of times you'll find that those adversities, it, singular, it's you. You're the problem, or not the problem, but you're the obstacle. Sorry about that. So you're the obstacle. So redirect. Learn to redirect that. And the second thing is interpolation. Interpolation, the idea that we create things. We Nothing exists until we create it, right? And it's a never ending cycle. So the same way we create fear, I think Maddie said something. Fear, we create fear. We create purpose. You are capable of creating a purpose for yourself, and you'll find that.
Nice.
And lastly, all I have to say is stop perpetrating and find your purpose. And with that being said, you all have a blessed evening. And thank you for showing up to Infinite Rocket Power.
Yay.
Hey.
Yeah.
She be killing me with that game show accent.